Heyo, what is going on? Danny Boy Reginald, Mike the Pun Master himself. How's it going, everybody? It's Sunday Sideline Report, Sports Sanity Network. We are sponsored as always by the Dugout of Millwood. We want to apologize for being a little late. Um,
It's the holiday season. People understand.
Yeah, it's usually me, by the way. That's late. Rifkin's probably here like 30 minutes before me.
Yeah, things don't change.
Yeah, So, um, Rifkin, tanking and playoff scenarios today. I mean,
We've got to talk a little bit about the tank. The tank game in Vegas today is unreal.
like, come on now. Like, we've been talking smack about these toilet bowl games all season long. I mean, come on. Like, it's becoming a massive issue here. Like,
For sure. And it really set off. I want to say it was Friday when
right.
the Raiders announced that Max Crosby wasn't going to play and he's going to injured reserve, so he won't play next week either. And it's like now he's undergoing a surgery for a knee injury he suffered earlier in the year, and it's like, yeah, we get that he's hurt now, but the whole thing still seems suspicious. And by the way, who's calling for the tank?
Mm,
That's what I want in Vegas. Who's calling for it? I know Pete Carroll's not calling for it.
yeah.
I don't believe Mr. I'm not really around in Vegas because I got games to call. Mr. Brady's calling for it. So, Mark Davis, are you really calling for a tank right now?
Mm.
I, I mean, I don't like it. I just don't like it. We'll definitely get more into it, though. But,
And
man, hope everyone had a Merry Christmas.
it was awesome Christmas. I
Yeah.
got a lot of Benjamins. I didn't ask for it, but I got a lot of Benjamins. So it's like, you know,
It's all about the Benjamins.
yeah. Mostly in the form of gift cards, but it works too. I like
That
shopping
works.
in stores. So
No. Gift card. Great gift.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I got to see fam in Jersey. That was awesome, man.
Nice.
And obviously for those of you that are very religious, like Bill Murphy, continue to have a Merry Christmas. Because it's a season, it's not just one holiday and stuff. So, um, but no, hopefully you guys are continuing to enjoy the holidays. We have New Year's coming up. So,
2026. Can you believe it?
dude, it's about to be 10 years since I met you, which is crazy. You know, like that's how much time flies. It's like what? 2026, like, I was in college 10 years ago.
Yeah,
It's like that now I'm a full-fledged adult and I'm falling apart every 2 seconds, like
yeah, I get that as
Mhm.
absolutely. I get that.
Yeah. Oh, and my football team has not made the playoffs in 15 years. That's how much time flies. Feel like yesterday where we had the Bart Scott can't wait comment. And I'm fired up because the Jets are literally this close to going to the Super Bowl. You know? So,
Mm,
yeah. No, time flies, dude. I still can't believe it.
time flies. You're right. I mean, how many head coaches ago was because that was Rex.
I was right. So it had to have been Gase, Balls, four head coaches ago.
Yeah,
4 head coaches ago.
man. Time really does fly. All right. So we do have some stuff today we'll get into. We will definitely get into clinching scenarios. We'll get into the tank ball. We got a lot of other stuff. We've got we've already had 5 games played this week.
Yeah, a while is that? It's a very short slate on
we,
Sunday.
we got a smaller slate today because we had 5 games already. Uh, you know what? I'll throw this to you. How do you feel about the NFL games on Christmas?
I mean, I don't love it. One, because I don't know when Christmas is gonna fall.
Mhm.
Obviously, if it falls on a Monday, it's just you're just gonna continue
Monday
the
night.
week
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So that to me is not that big a deal. But if it's on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, like
Yeah.
you need to tell me that you're gonna play a game. And look, I like how teams like the Commanders have spread it out. Or like, Dallas, they go from a Thursday to a Thursday sometimes. The Lions have done that too, you know. So like obviously they've been a little more careful with how they schedule. But like if you play on Saturday or Sunday, you're playing on a Tuesday after that. Like there's just no time to recover.
Mm,
So, um, I think, but like I said, the NFL has actually been better about the scheduling with some of these teams that do have that kind of weird Christmas or Thanksgiving, and you know what? So, I will say that. But Christmas, like I don't know, I'll take it. I mean, I didn't watch any of the Christmas games. I'm being real with you. Like I was watching the Knicks, you know, but. NFL on Christmas, it's something that I'm getting used to. And, when the matchups are good and, there's actually stuff on the line and
yeah.
not that crappy ass Cowboys Commanders game, even though there was some drama, like, you
Right.
know, it's, when the matchups are good, it's great. But when the matchups are terrible, it's terrible.
Yeah, they picked 3 divisional games, so you can't get mad at that. It just sucks on how it played out with injuries and scenarios in which occurred that, well, now in this case, only one of those teams is going to be in the playoffs
Yeah.
based on what happened in one of the games. But yeah, I just think it's interesting how the NBA had Christmas and
Yeah.
now the NFL is kind of swooping in and trying to take
Yeah.
it over. But on top of it, instead of putting it on regular network TV, you have to stream the games
Yeah.
on Netflix. So,
And I didn't see the Netflix numbers for Christmas. I'm sure it was pretty high. Um, I mean, give given that Netflix and Amazon, given that both are big time streaming networks, everyone has them.
mm,
Um, but the yeah, NBA on Christmas, the one thing that as much as the NBA's pretty much lost that Christmas lust.
mm,
Um, one of the things that I give them credit is the fact that, it's not only on cable. Like this year, it was not only on cable, they were simulcasting it on over-the-air television.
mm,
So you can watch it on cable or you can watch it on your local TV, which is, pretty smart. It's good for ratings. You get to have two sets of ratings, one. And then two, everyone could watch it because you can watch nationwide, whether you have cable or not. So I do give the NBA a lot of credit, but I mean credit where credit is due for football. Like they took Christmas Day, they just they stole it from us.
SARS. Yeah.
Like and it happened so quickly too. Only
Yeah.
within like the last 3, 4 years
Yeah.
where they just came in and then they took the day. It started with one and now it has like, three or four.
Yeah. But shout out the Knicks. What a Christmas Day win that was over
Mhm.
the Cavs.
And like, I'm sure the NFL had a good number of people watching it. Those Christmas Day NBA games were pretty solid. Those are
Yeah.
pretty, those are good games to watch. So I mean,
Yes,
hopefully NBA had a better day than the last couple of.
I'll say this. I'll apologize to Mark, who's not here. He's under the weather. But I watched zero of the Cowboy Commander game because I was watching the
I,
Knicks.
yeah, I'm sorry. Like I'm in Knicks mode. The Jets are out of the playoffs. Like I'm in Knicks mode right now. I'm done. You know, like I don't know. Like I tried watching the Commanders this year again. Um, it was supposed to be an exciting year, and it didn't work out.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I stopped like halfway through. I couldn't deal with the injuries and the coaching and all that stuff.
So we'll get into recap of the Christmas Day games, but I want to start with the games from yesterday. We had two more yesterday. Let's start with the night game because
Mhm.
um, if you live in Green Bay, Wisconsin, or if your name is Lawrence Lang, uh, some guy named Derrick Henry went Grinch mode last night
Yeah,
in the Ravens 41-24 win over the Packers. Derrick Henry, 36 carries, 216 yards, and four touchdowns. Tyler Huntley, 60-20, 107 yards and a touchdown. For the Packers, Malik Willis threw for 288 yards and a touchdown, then ran the ball for 60 yards and had two touchdowns. The Ravens keep their playoff hopes alive for one day
yeah,
because if the Pittsburgh Steelers win today, the AFC North is over.
yeah,
But if the Steelers lose to Shadur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns, Week 18 Ravens Steelers with the division on the line.
Mhm.
So the Ravens are big Browns fans today.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing though? You know, the team that came back because the Ravens stole the Browns. Now they gotta cheer for Cleveland.
Mm,
Come on now. Like, do you honestly think that the Cleveland is gonna try to give it? No, no. Like, no what? Like, Ravens stole Super Bowls from that city. Ravens stole the owner. They stole the players. Like the Hall of Fame tradition. Mm, obviously, I'm just joking around. No,
yeah.
of course, Cleveland wants to win. Of course, the fans want to win too. They want to see Shador Sanders play well. But you know, it's a very interesting scenario for the Ravens. I mean, first of all, great win.
Yeah.
Very solid win. And how about Derrick Henry? The Ravens are up by a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. And, they're trying to close out the game. They're just trying to run out the clock. And he has an open lane for a touchdown. And that's pretty much sealed the deal. I mean, the Ravens all season long, they've been such a weird team.
Yep.
Look, obviously Lamar hasn't always been there. We didn't see him yesterday. Um, and of course, credit to, you know, both backups because Green Bay had their backup too.
Yep. Malik Willis played very well.
Um, so yeah, Huntley did a great job and stuff, and has done a pretty solid job all season. I know he's not the best quarterback, but there's a reason why the Ravens have a sucky record. They're using their backup. They're two string all season. Like he's good to go out there and play, but he's not great enough to win those games. So that's just something that you just got to keep in mind for that. But he did do a good job last night. He relied on the running game. That's the smartest thing John Harbaugh has done all season is rely on the running game because those are your best playmakers that you got. You know, I know Flowers had a touchdown catch, which is
Yep.
pretty nice.
Flowers had a touchdown catch.
Um, but yeah, good win by the Ravens. For the Packers, I don't. If you're the Packers, don't give a shit about the division. Like just take the playoff spot.
Yeah, with the loss, the
You
Bears
know,
win the division. So
like yeah,
the
it's like
Bears will get a home playoff game.
just take the playoff spot. Like we understand you want to be kings of the North again. Let Chicago have that. They'll lose in the first round anyway. And you make your Super Bowl run. But no, great win by the Ravens on the road. It's hard to win in Lambeau.
Yeah.
It's very hard to win in Lambeau. When you're down your big time playmakers, that's a pretty impressive win. And to keep your playoff hopes alive, you obviously got to hope that Rodgers absolutely spits a bit, which, of course, I want that to happen. Um, but hope that the Steelers give a crappy ass game and the Browns somehow have a major upset in Week 17. That would be absolutely epic to watch a Week 18 game for the playoff spot. Like that would be crazy.
Well, I think something you brought up was interesting because Cleveland, you're right. Cleveland's going to play hard, 100%.
Yeah.
Shadur's playing for potentially being the starter next year. I'm not. I think Kevin Stefanski's still probably coaching for his job.
Yeah.
Miles Garrett wants the sacks record. There are things that Cleveland Browns are playing for. So I do think this is a very interesting situation for a Steelers team where this could be a bit of a trap game, even though it's a divisional game, because they're coming off that. Let me be brutally honest. That really weird win in Detroit last week. And then they get Baltimore next week. And Cleveland sitting there kind of like, this could be a trap for the Steelers. So call up my guy on Malakbar. Um, but to go to the Baltimore, where was Derrick Henry? What
I
why was
know.
where was Derrick Henry last week, John Harbaugh?
Yeah.
Even though he fumbled, like you gotta lean on that guy.
Yeah. One thing that I give him credit for, Derrick Henry, is that he doesn't allow his mistakes to turn into slumps.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why not rely on your best playmaker to
He,
make big plays? Like,
he's
I
your
just don't get
most
it.
important player.
Like, if you know that he's gonna recover, like, let him recover. Let him do his thing. And he did.
Uh, You know, that one just if for me the amount of blown fourth quarter leads that teams had, that's the mind-boggling thing when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens, the fourth quarter blown leads. And part of that has been John Harbaugh's coaching, not just the players. Flip side to Green Bay, look, you're right in the sense of, hey, you're in the playoffs. Good luck. Um, this defense has sucked since Micah Parsons got
Mhm.
hurt.
Yeah.
And Matt LaFleur, I put out an APB last night, and not just because I had the guy in my fantasy championship game, but where the hell was Josh Jacobs? You paid the guy money to run the ball, and he's got 4 carries in the game. What are we doing, Matt?
Yeah.
It's not like you were starting Jordan Love and Jordan Love's airing the ball. It's Malik freaking Willis.
I
By the way,
know.
played great. I'm going to
And
give him
and
credit.
and, and look, he was airing the ball pretty well. But yeah, man, ground and pound. Not the entire game. You don't have to because you have a good passing game. But
Yeah.
like, you know, if teams need to utilize their running backs more, man, especially in situations like, you know, Green Bay. But yeah, I was kind of shocked too that Jacobs was not as active as he should have been.
So Green Bay, they're in. Baltimore's going to wait. The Chicago Bears win the NFC North.
Yeah. How about that?
3 straight years of finishing in last place, and they win the North this year.
Yeah. How about that? Uh, man.
Feather in the cap to Ben Johnson.
Mm,
The other game that took place yesterday also had playoff implications.
And draft pick implications if you're the Jets.
And draft pick implications if you're the Jets. The Houston Texans defeated the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego by a score of 20 to
Mhm.
16, thus giving the Texans at least a wild card. They've clinched a playoff berth. The Chargers were in already as of last Monday night when the aforementioned Indianapolis Colts lost the 49ers.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, 16 of 28, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Justin Herbert, 21 of 32, 236, a touchdown and a pick. He was also the Charger leading rusher, but the Texans both teams go to 11 and 5.
Hmm.
But the Charger loss also means that for the first time in a decade, a team not named the Kansas City Chiefs have won the AFC West, that being the Denver Broncos, who beat the Chiefs on Christmas night.
Yeah.
So, congrats to the Broncos on that. Congrats to the Texans on making the playoffs. I think the Texans, Dan, could be the scariest team in the AFC just based on that defense.
I really think Houston has proven time and time again it's no fluke anymore that they're sleeper to try to go to the Super Bowl. And I would be terrified if I'm any team in the AFC. I don't know what Texans I'm going to see in the playoffs. So teams got to tighten up a little bit. And I don't know if I could trust teams to tighten up a bit. You have an offense that's also cooking a little bit, but this defense, pretty scary. Pretty scary stuff, you know?
Listen, this offense was cooking early. They scored 14. They
Right out
scored
the
two
gate.
touchdowns the first two drives, and then CJ Stroud kind of fell a little bit. But
Yeah, excuse me.
when it comes to it, yeah, they are very. I think both these teams are dangerous.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say about the Chargers is I kind of think they're a little bit like Green Bay in this sense. They don't have a real number one receiver.
Yeah.
And I think at times for Justin Herbert, it hurts him because I don't know how much trust there is. And then when the play breaks down, he's choosing to
Yeah.
use his mobility. So,
Yeah. And it's great that he could run,
yeah.
but you know, I need Herbert to be, not out there running for his life and trying to make plays with his legs. He has an arm too.
Yeah.
So it's something to think about if you're Harbaugh, something to think about if you're the front office. You know, who is someone you can target? Do you want Garrett Wilson? You can take him. Like I'll I'll gladly give you a playoff caliber number one wide receiver in exchange for any draft picks you got. You know?
And also, let's not forget they are down there two tackles, Joe Alt and
Mhm.
Rayshon Slater, who are both out for the
Yeah.
season. But yeah, I need more out of this group. Quentin Johnston got off to a hot start. He fell off. He's been better the last couple of weeks. I love Lad McConkey. I don't view him as a one. Keenan Allen kind of feels like maybe this is a farewell tour. Gadsden had a touchdown, but he also had a ball hit him right in the hands that wound up as an
But
interception.
Butterfingers
Yeah,
and just pure bad luck after
yeah,
that.
just bad luck.
You know.
So, um, for the Chargers, and by the way, the Charger defense after giving up the 14, like they clamped down.
Yeah.
So see what happens there. But both teams very dangerous in the AFC. And let's be honest, the Christmas games of note. We just told you Denver won the West. Um, the Cowboy Commander game, it happened. No one really cares.
Yeah.
except for the old ops game, but it has no impact on the playoffs. The game that did have an impact on the playoffs, the Minnesota Vikings beating the Lions, thus eliminating the Lions from playoff contention. So the Bears go from worst to first. The Lions go from first to worst. So tough year in Detroit.
Yeah, we have a couple of Lions fans at work, who were like, who should we keep as our coordinators? Because they do have a coordinator problem. This season has not been good, um, by any means. And again, I know they have playmakers, they're down, but still, like the most of that team is pretty much there. So, uh. tough one for Detroit. That's tough to watch. You go from NFC Championship game 1 year, and then 2 years later you're out, and you're not even close.
It reminds me of what Dan Campbell said after that NFC title game when he said, we don't know. I don't know when we'll be back. Now, I think the window for them is still wide open because Jared Goff had a good year. They've got a great running back duo, great receivers. They do need to get healthy.
Yeah.
Sam Laporta missing time didn't help. They need to revamp a little bit on this defense. Maybe get a guy opposite Aiden Hutchinson, and then they got to work the secondary because that secondary was, man, used all year.
Mhm. Oh.
All right. So here are the rest of your clinching scenarios here for week 17. We already told you Denver won the AFC West. They can win the number one overall seed and home field advantage and the only bye. They've already won. The Chargers have already lost, but so they need the New England Patriots to lose against the Jets, the Bills to lose against the Eagles, or the Jaguars to lose against the Colts. The Jaguars can no longer clinch the South because of the Texans win. The New England Patriots can win the AFC East with a win and a Bills loss. We already told you about Pittsburgh and Houston. You already know as well, based on what happened yesterday and what we just told you.
Mhm.
The NFC, the Seattle Seahawks can clinch the NFC West and home field advantage in the number one seed with a win and a loss by the Rams, and the Bears Niners game ends in a tie.
Mhm.
Or they could just win the West with a win plus Rams and Niners both lose. The Niners not expected to have George Kittle tonight, high ankle sprain. So let's see what happens.
I mean, and of course they're trying to also capture the number one seed.
Yeah, if
And
they win, Seattle,
yeah,
San Francisco will be for the one seed next week.
which is
I
wild.
presume that'll be the Sunday night game.
Yes. It's wild.
Um, the
Wild to see.
the Carolina Panthers. I can't believe I'm saying these words in week 17. The
Mhm.
Carolina Panthers can win the NFC South with either a win over the Seahawks or a Bucks loss to the Dolphins. And the Bears and Packers, you already know. The Bears have won the North. Packers are in based on Detroit losing. So those are your clinching scenarios. As I pull up the rest of today's slate.
Mhm.
But I can't believe we're saying that about the Carolina Panthers, man.
I think because we've humbled ourselves with Carolina. We made fun of them. They don't have a real coach. They don't have a real owner. Everything about them sucks. Like we have said it all about Carolina and how poorly they run their team. We were humbled this season. We saw good quarterback play from Bryce.
Yeah.
We saw a wide receiver, not necessarily coming out of nowhere, but we didn't expect this
Yeah.
from T-Mac. Um, Solid coaching in a tough NFC. This is a tough NFC.
Oh
And
yeah.
they have won some big games in this league. So good coaching, building a culture. And look, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to win a playoff game. But chances are probably not. But all I can say is you have to look at this Carolina team, be humble, and be like, I appreciate the type of play that they're showing off this season because it is something that you should get excited about if you're a football fan, and of course if you're a Carolina fan.
Improvement.
Yeah,
Improvement. Bryce Young has shown maturity this year.
yeah.
I agree with you on T-Mac. He's been awesome. They found a running game with Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. The defense has had moments of greatness, and they've had other moments where it hasn't been so great. But just look at some of the games they've won at at home. They beat the Rams at home. They, I mean, it doesn't sound impressive. They beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins were spotted a 17-0 lead and blew it to them.
Mhm.
They beat the Cowboys in Carolina.
Yeah,
They've beaten maybe not great teams, but they have had heart and showed resiliency all year.
yeah.
So he's not going to, Dave Canales probably won't win Coach of the Year based on Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel, but Dave Canales deserves a lot of credit for the job he's done into the past couple of years. And by the way, Todd Bowles, I mean, this has kind of been an epic choke job on your
It,
part, but
it it's a Todd Bowles special if you think about it though. Like how many times have we seen Todd Bowles? Not necessarily like I'd be very shocked if they are out of the playoffs. Um
yeah, I think they win today, and then
yeah,
next week for all the marbles, the NFC South.
yeah, I'd be very shocked. But like this is a Todd Bowles special. In a massive game, in massive games, they the Bucks have not won.
Yeah,
He did the exact same thing with the Jets. When it was a big game they absolutely needed, the Jets would lose. And he's doing it again in Tampa Bay. It's a Todd Bowles special. It's something that we've seen from him before. Not to this magnitude,
yep.
but we've seen this before. So tough to watch.
The other thing I would say is this: look, I get they've had some injuries. Mike Evans was out for a while. Bucky Irving was out. Todd Bowles' specialties defense.
Mhm.
This defense has had problems at times this year, and that's not the thing I want to see from a defensive coach. The other thing is this: I have a lot of respect for Baker Mayfield and everything he's accomplished.
Mhm.
Baker Mayfield was an MVP, was the MVP in October. It's kind of been downhill for him
Yeah.
the past month plus.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's playing hurt or whatnot, but he has not been great.
Has his rhythm been thrown off with the lack of receivers too?
Yeah, that's a possibility
Like
too.
what is it about Baker's play? Because we expect Baker to at least be a complimentary quarterback. We
Mhm.
expect him to do well despite the adversity, and he can't do that. It's kind of weird with him.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what's going to happen there in Tampa if they miss. But we'll see what happens today and next week. But Todd bringing up Todd Bowles was an interesting thing because I do have on my rundown guys who are potentially coaching for their job the next 2 weeks. I think there's an interesting case if the Bucks continue the collapse.
Mm,
Like Todd Bowles could be out of a job.
yeah.
So we'll see what happens. We'll get more into that in a minute. But um, we do got to talk about the Tank Bowl.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Giants and the Raiders play today in Vegas. How this is not Sunday night football though is beyond me. Um, Look, both teams are throwing in the towel based on guys who aren't playing, you know. But I think this is. I don't want to say teams are openly wanting to lose to get the number one pick,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look good.
It's not. It's
Yeah,
terrible. I hate tanking, dude. The
yeah.
only time I rooted for the tank was to get Trevor Lawrence, and it failed miserably. You know, so that was literally the only time I cheered for a tank. I am never making that mistake again. Um, it's so bad, dude. Like, what are we doing here? And Crosby had a good quote. He's like, I don't give a shit about the pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't give a shit about the damn pick. Win the game. You know? Like, you go out there to win. And you got teams that are trying to get the number one. We all know the Giants are gonna get the number one pick now, but it's just like, my God, like it's awful, man. Like it is really bad to watch it play out the way it's been playing out.
And if you're a Giant fan, and I want to hear from a Giant fan, whether it's a comment here on the YouTube page,
Yeah,
whether it's Bill on SIP tomorrow, if you guys are doing SIP tomorrow, either Jackson Dart's the guy. You
yeah,
have to give him a full year. So with the number one pick, it shouldn't matter to you because you're
mhm,
probably going to trade it regardless. So what's the difference between trading the number one pick or the number two pick?
yeah,
I, I don't get. I get it from the Raiders' standpoint. I don't like it. I'm with you. I hate it. I think it's terrible. It's bad for business. And quite frankly, the fact that the NFL probably won't do anything about it is just shambles to me.
yeah,
But I want to know from a Giant family, you 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 know already you're getting a new coach because Mike Kafka can't be the coach next year.
yeah.
You believe Jackson Dart could be the guy. So your point on the number one pick is, oh well, we'll trade for more ammunition. Well, you can do the same damn thing with the number two pick.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm
the
curious.
I'm curious on
Hmm.
this too.
Yeah,
I'm curious on how many actual people are going to sit down and watch Raiders Giants today as opposed to Bills Eagles or something
exactly.
along those lines.
Yeah,
Like, who's going to watch the Raiders and the Giants?
yeah.
Actually, I don't know sucker that well.
I know. Sticking with the Giants for a second.
Yeah, go.
Let's say they get the number one or number two. Do you trust Joe Shane to be the guy?
No.
I don't. So then there's a chance that he's not the guy. One, doing the coaching search, and two, being responsible for what they're going to end up doing with that top pick.
So, so now what you're just illustrating
Hmm.
is a team that could have the number one pick
Yeah.
needs a new coach, new general manager.
Hmm.
If that's not a sign of a dumpster fire,
Hmm.
that's a problem.
Like It could very well be, and I know we say that Jackson Dart's the guy. It could very well be, Mike, that he's not.
And so you're going to Josh Rosen him and you take Fernando Mendoza and Jackson Dart gets traded to, I'm just using Steve as the example,
Yeah.
but Jackson Dart gets traded to the Jets,
Mhm.
for
Well,
ammunition.
I don't know about the Jets.
I'm just using use the example.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
You want me to use Cleveland, I'll use Cleveland. You want me to use the Raiders, I'll use the Raiders. But you're gonna just move off of Jackson Dart after 8 games or whatever he's played.
right.
That's not a fair assessment, especially after last week where Mike Kafka, if you listen to the Wishbone Shotgun podcast, latest episode up on the YouTube page,
Yeah.
Mike Kafka coached that game last week against Minnesota scared. And that's a problem. But look, if you're a Giant fan today, you want to win because you should want to win every game. But I don't think it matters if you're the Giants, win or lose. For this reason, you're probably trading the pick, and I know you guys do SIP tomorrow, so if you want to throw that out to Bill and see what he says, I am actually intrigued on what he would have to say on this.
Yeah.
But if you're a Raider fan, like, I feel for you. They are
Mhm.
openly tanking, and I feel bad for Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I think Pete Carroll is a great football coach. He's a great competitor, and they are trying to openly lose him from him. Is Pete Carroll getting fired after 1 year there? I hope not, but we'll see what happens.
That'd be wild, dude, if that's the case.
I'll tell you this: there will be teams who say, "Oh, Pete Carroll's available. I'm jumping in."
Yeah.
All right, so as we mentioned before, some coaches I'm watching over the next couple of weeks. We brought up Todd Bowles. Stefanski, I think, is probably out in Cleveland, but it's worth a watch. And I'm interested if Pittsburgh wins, what happens with John Harbaugh?
Hmm.
I'm very intrigued by seeing what would happen there. And the other guy I'm intrigued by, I'm not sure if he's going to go anywhere or not. I'm intrigued by Mark's guy, Brian Schottenheimer. Cowboys showed a lot of improvement, especially later in the year, but I don't know if Jerry Jones is going to push forward Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
Um, do you think Aaron Glenn's back next year?
I think he is.
Okay.
Yes. Um, I'd be very shocked if he isn't. Um, and again, it's more of stability because you don't want to. The thing is, Woody Johnson doesn't want to admit that he got it wrong. It's an ego
Yeah.
thing, though.
But
You
by the
know,
way, did you see what he did with the kicker, the kicker
I
situation?
know. I thought it was just pure jet incompetence and all that stuff. It was absolutely hilarious. Not necessarily because you're making fun of the lady and all that stuff, the soccer coach and all that stuff. Like, no, that's not the reason. But it's just because, of course, the Jets would do something stupid like that. Like, now they made it right by her and they're allowing her to kick the damn ball. But, like, do some vetting if you're not gonna allow people to go for 6 grand. Like, come on, dude. Like, that's a you problem, Woody Johnson.
It's very much a Woody Johnson problem, but
Yeah.
uh, no. But your point on Glenn is an interesting one. See what
Yeah, I just
happens.
I just don't think that Woody Johnson would want to admit that he's wrong, one. And two, they may see something in Aaron Glenn that might be redeeming. I haven't seen anything that's redeeming so far, but they may see something, and I think we should at least give it one more season.
Hmm.
Biggest thing though, it's ego. I don't think Woody Johnson wants to admit he got it wrong and has a one and done coach and is back at it again, out there doing a search. Um, and part of the problem is that this was a search firm that he relied on.
Hmm.
Get Aaron Glenn, to get Darren Muji. They got Muji right because he's been a great GM. Coaching wise, hasn't been great.
So we'll know most of the firings by next Monday, which is known across NFL league circles as Black Monday. All right, so week 17 games. The Seahawks and the Pan. What an interesting game this Seahawks Panthers game is. You got the Sam Darnold revenge story. You got the Panthers looking to win a division for the first time in a while. I think since they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I mean, and Carolina, we just said it. They've won some big games at home this year. This is the biggest one.
Yeah.
And you
Let's
get the
see.
Seattle Seahawks sandwich between the Buck games.
Yeah. I'll be very impressed if they can go out there and beat the Seattle Seahawks. I'll be very impressed.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said before, you just gotta give them some kudos because they have built a culture that is winning and they have built characters
Yeah.
that make it about winning. So it's a great job by Carolina. Doesn't matter how their season ends, they've done a spectacular job. So, but I'll be very impressed. This will show me a lot, this game, about what the Carolina Panthers are. We already know what the Seahawks are. They're a great team. This will show me a lot more about
Yeah.
Carolina.
The Seahawks are still playing for that number one seed in home field. So we will see what happens. Talking about Steelers, Browns, and then we get into the later games. Eagles Bills is a massive
Mhm.
game.
Yeah,
Eagles for seeding purposes. The Bills are still fighting for the AFC East.
yeah, yeah.
So
Right now, the Eagles they want to get a home game, so I don't blame them.
they'll have at least one home game. They're looking for
Yeah,
two. So
yeah,
I'm intrigued by this one. The Bills' run defense has not been great, and the Eagles refuse to hand the ball on Barkley. So we'll see what happens. And then tonight, Bears 49ers, what should be a fun one. No kid, it looks like no Kittle again for the Niners, so we'll see what happens. But Christian McCaffrey's back, and that's a bad thing for NFC defenses.
yeah.
And then tomorrow night we got the Rams and the Falcons. Ironically enough, if you're the Falcons, you actually want to win that game because the Rams own your first round pick next year.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, Dan, close it out. Your fantasy player of the day.
I'm trying to think. I would
Okay.
go out and say, let me see what we got out of McMillan today against the Seahawks.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know. I think the Seahawks defense is pretty good, but like, let's see what we can get out of Carolina's passing game.
I'm going to go same position, but in a game that's way more meaningless. But Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Since Joe Burrow came back, Jamar Chase has been on a tear. They're playing the Cardinals today. And also, I got Joe Burrow in a fantasy championship. So I kind of need him to go off.
Yeah. I'm tanking the third place game because I don't care. I know you get your money, was it get your money back, whatever. Who cares? Like, you know,
Oh,
here's $50. Take it.
here's 50.
You know.
All right. That'll do for the week 17 edition of the Sunday Sideline Report here on the SIN YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We put out videos often. Listen to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You have
Mhm.
the website, thesportsincininnynetwork.com for blogs, logs, plane trades, and automobiles. And Dan, what about the socials?
Those shows that at Cincinnati Real, we're posting on there more. We're trying to, at least. We've been trying to be better about it. So, um, please follow us on our socials, Facebook and X for right now. And then, you know, we're wrapping up the year, 2025 calendar year. So, um, 2026, we'll hope to have more big time content for you. As football playoffs start, baseball, their off season's coming to an end as well. I'm still waiting on Cody Bellinger to sign somewhere. I don't know where. Hopefully it's with the Yankees. And
Hopefully, it's with the Yankees.
yeah, it probably won't be. Brian Cashman's a fucking dummy. Um, but that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, more football to come, man. And we'll be here to cover everything.
Olympics, Olympic
Mm.
hockey coming.
Oh, the Olympics, yes. Team USA, they better put out a strong team for Team USA. Like, you know,
See what happens. I think rosters get announced New Year's Eve.
okay.
All right, everyone, enjoy week 17. We'll be back next week to preview the last week of the
Mm.
regular season.
Yep.
And the old ops guy's still probably going to be sick over the Cowboy season.
It sure is.